Welcome to Candidates Comment, a public service presentation of CTN. All candidates running for Ann Arbor Board of Education were invited to share their platforms and ideas with CTN. Candidates who participate will be shown in alphabetical order.
Hello, my name is Crystal Dupree. I am a candidate for Ann Arbor Public Schools Board of Education. As a social worker and a member of COPA, which is the Coalition for Parents, Advocates, and Attorneys, I understand the impact education has on our children and our community. If elected, I will be a voice on the board, not only with professional experience, but with lived experience as an unpartnered parent right here in Ann Arbor. I will be advocating for single parents, consistent special education services, and fostering a sense of belonging for Black and Indigenous children of color and children of marginalized religious groups. I support the development and implementation of a discrimination tracking system in the district. I also support having an independent civil rights investigation of Pioneer High School and the district itself, for the investigation results to be made public so that we can collaborate with the district to cultivate a culture of equity and inclusion. As a community and youth coordinator, I have a passion for empowering our youth and supporting them with the resources for success. I want to amplify the student voice and uplift the student perspective. With the Student Advisory Committee, we can allow committee members to sit in on school board meetings. While we know our students cannot be voting members on the board, through this committee, we will have an opportunity to learn about our students and how we can best support their success and allow Ann Arbor Public Schools to exemplify their mission and provide students with yet another opportunity to advance the common good. I will also advocate for consistent access to special education information and resources throughout the district. In my family, we are fortunate to be at a school where information on the special education system is readily available on their website. Yet this is not a uniform practice, as it should be. Combining both community voice and evidence-based suggestions, I will also bring a program development and policy perspective to tackling the preschool to prison pipeline, the education gaps in Ann Arbor Public Schools, and working toward our carbon neutrality goals here in Ann Arbor. When you fill out your ballot, remember a few things. 1, perspective matters. 2, representation matters. And 3, vote for Crystal Dupree for Ann Arbor Public Schools Board of Education.
My name is Jeff Gainor, and I'm running for re-election to the Ann Arbor School Board. In 2016, I retired after a 38-year teaching career, 32 years at elementary and middle schools in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. Teachers and parents whom I respected highly came to ask me to run for the school board. They said I was the teacher who spoke up at staff meetings when others were hesitant to do so, that I knew about teaching and learning and would be a needed voice on the board. I ran then and now on a platform of bringing critical thinking, openness, and transparency to the board, and with the goal of engaging the community in needed discussions. I believe strongly that trustees cannot do their job well without engaging with all stakeholders, not just top administrators. Equity and social justice are priorities, but it is up to the board to make sure it is reality, not just rhetoric. We are proud of our high academic ratings, but this disguises a large gap in achievement. We need to make sure the curriculum is rich and inclusive. Restorative justice is widely praised, but it must be practiced authentically. While school choice seems necessary in this competitive environment over funding, there are cases in which in-district transfers have led to increasing school segregation. Our schools of choice policy has brought in nearly 2,000 students and their state funding to AAPS. Yet if we're looking at equity, the loss of about 1,000 students from Ypsilanti has caused great financial harm to that district and to the students that remain there. We must see all children as ours. The $1 billion bond is a big responsibility for trustees to oversee in the coming years. I felt this amount was how we could ensure sustainability and carbon neutrality goals. I am serving on the bond and the city schools committees, as well as the planning and finance committees, to help keep this as a priority. And of course, we have to shepherd our way through this nightmare year of COVID-19. The transition to virtual learning and the decision about when and how to return in person is complex. While public health is our first priority, we cannot lose sight of the damages caused by not having students in school. Serving on the school board is not the glamorous position it might seem. There are hours of research, deep discussions with administration, listening and responding to parents, students, and staff, and critical decisions to weigh. Through this lens, I have cast a handful of dissenting votes. I will always do what I think is right, rather than what is popular or politically expedient. We have an excellent group of candidates, which augurs well for our board. I have put links to their web pages, along with other information on my site, Gainor4AAPS.com. Please take a look. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jamila James, and I'm running for Ann Arbor School Board. Let me tell you why. I will soon be 45 years old, and in my lifetime alone, life has totally changed. When I was a kid, we had it on an Atari. Today, our children hold what once would be considered a supercomputer in their hands. We used to sled, ride our bikes, and have long recesses. Our kids stare at screens. You know what hasn't changed? Our schools. Wait, let me correct that. Our schools have changed, and not for the better. More homework, more tests, no life skills, the inability to just be a kid. I want to change that. Look, I'm no politician. I'm a parent who has been navigating this system for 16 years with 4 more to go. I know something about what works and what doesn't work. I've dealt with racial inequities here. I've also dealt with people who have recognized my family needs and have stepped in to help. Look, what is your priority? Is it to prepare our kids to survive in this new world that's constantly moving and changing? Or are we going to focus on the stuff they never use? Interest, student loans, credit, how to calculate a budget. That's something I use almost every day. I've been on my own since I was 17 and left my parents' home to attend college. To say I was ill prepared for adulthood and real life is an understatement. I not only had to navigate the waters of a first generation college student, I also had to navigate first time independence, credit cards, while being in an environment with cultures that were totally unfamiliar to me. And I had no idea who I was. My education did not prepare me for the real world or how to be the adult I was now expected to be. Life is constantly changing and we have no control over it. Will your babies, your young people, when they leave high school, will they be able to do the adulting that is now expected of them if they are alone without you? It's not just Black and brown children in trouble. Mass school shootings, cyberbullying, suicide rates tell us all of our children are crying out. Are we going to continue to ignore it and do business as usual? Or are we going to do something about it? When you know better, you do better. We know better now. Social emotional development, teacher autonomy, equity, social justice is the way to go. Our brain stops developing at 25. Our schools have them for 12 of those years. It takes a village to raise a society. We have the resources. We have money and expertise within our own community. We just have to have the will. We're building adults. All of our children deserve a fighting chance. For more information about me and my platform, please check out my website, jamilaforschoolboard.com.
Hello, my name is Maggie Kennel, and I am excited to be running for the Ann Arbor Public School Board of Education. I am eager to draw from my experiences as an Ann Arbor Public School parent, volunteer, equity advocate, and as a medical researcher to help guide the policies that will make the school board a more effective force for our children's education. I am a graduate of the Ann Arbor Public Schools and a longtime resident. I went to Eastern Michigan University for my undergraduate and graduate degrees. I studied physiology and cellular and molecular biology. I was a teaching assistant in graduate school for the nursing students. While in college, I held a wide range of jobs, including working for the Washtenaw Intermediate School District as their IT liaison for their youth at-risk centers and as a teaching assistant for the WCC for human anatomy and physiology classes. I went on to work at Pfizer for almost 10 years and currently work at the University of Michigan Hospital in the Hematology Oncology Department doing research in stem cell transplant patients. As a parent to 3 currently enrolled students in the Ann Arbor Public Schools, I have the experience of working in concert across elementary, middle, and high school, with over 11 years of volunteering in the schools as a room parent, PTO volunteer coordinator, PTO president at 2 different schools, and 6 years of PTO fundraising experience. I am ready for this new challenge. I have worked to engage parents in our schools, educate them on sinking funds and bonds, and have supported teachers by assisting them with their curriculum needs in the schools. Additionally, my professional life of running clinical trials at the University of Michigan Hospital gives me the skills to analyze data with a critical eye. I'm running for the Ann Arbor Public School Board to lead our schools to a better future, a future where every student has an equal and equitable opportunity to thrive. Ann Arbor Public Schools are based in a culturally rich and diverse city, but we are currently facing serious challenges. Our schools are outdated and in disrepair. Teachers are unhappy with compensation, and many parents are disappointed with the district's lack of transparency, clear communication, and inequitable practices. Furthermore, the district's financial health will be greatly challenged over the next few years due to the loss of funding caused by the pandemic. We need solution-focused and data-driven board members who will work collaboratively to solve these problems and advocate for the best educational experience for all of our students. Our schools have a tough road ahead. We are entering a new horizon for everyone, teachers, parents, and students, and administrators. The best thing the schools can do is to be able to review what is working and not working in our school system and to adjust it to better meet the needs of all of our children. To truly improve our district, we must create an environment of inclusiveness, understanding, and collaboration for all stakeholders. These will be the issues I plan to focus on when I am elected to the Ann Arbor Public School Board of Education. Thank you for your time, and remember to vote on or before November 3rd.
Hello, my name is Ernesto Carrillo, and I'm asking for your vote in the Ann Arbor School Board election this November. I'm running for this position on principles that have guided my life as a career educator. I'll fight for long-term student learning, and I have a track record that reflects that. I taught at Tecumseh High School for 8 years, and I've been teaching developmental writing courses at Washtenaw Community College since 2010. I know well how to help students succeed and hope to bring that perspective to the board. Second, I will support and recommend policies that increase representation, fairness, and inclusion. This includes people of different race, gender, sexual orientation, socioeconomic background, and special education students as well. If elected, I will continue to fight for student support, access, and self-advocacy. When students are empowered to communicate their needs for themselves, our community grows stronger. And when they aren't, we need to advocate for them. As a trustee, I would lend my ears and voice to anyone in our educational community, students, parents, teachers, support staff, administrators, anyone with real concerns about student learning that might otherwise go unheard. I've lived in Ann Arbor for over 25 years, and I have 2 children in the district. I'm a regular parent volunteer. That's where you'll find me on Fridays. I believe that I can bring a wide-ranging perspective to our board with tremendous experience in the educational landscape. Please check out my website, voteforernestoq.com, to learn more about me, what I'll stand for, and what I've stood for. Together, we can look out for our kids and each other. Vote for Ernesto Carrillo on November 3rd. Be safe, and thank you.
I'm Angie Smith, a candidate for the Ann Arbor Public Schools Board of Education, and I'm here today to ask for your vote. My experience in education lends itself well to this position. I have a master's degree in education, and I've taught, worked, and volunteered with every age level, preschool through adult, many times supporting students with unique goals, including incarcerated learners, kids with traumatic brain injury. I've taught science at Washtenaw Community College. I've worked with gifted kids. I've been a classroom teacher, and I've worked one-on-one with students. As a parent in Ann Arbor Public Schools, I've worked with parents, teachers, our board administration, and others on concerns and issues that have come to light. Whenever possible, I volunteer weekly in the classroom. I've been a PTO president, and I've even served as lifeguard at my kids' school when there was a need. I've participated in many governing boards, including the educational chair for Washtenaw County Food Policy Council, president of our local nonprofit pool, and I've sat on committees that investigate policy change both within our district and within our broader community. I've really dedicated countless hours to thinking and learning about education. And as both an educator and a member of our community, I found a universal truth. The very best foundation for strong community is strong public education. I've learned that we need to invest in what we value, and I'm ready to work hard as a board member to reflect and respect the values of teachers, students, and families within our community. Cultural crises related to public health, climate change, racism, and equity will cause fundamental changes in education. My goal is to use this board seat to challenge everyone from teachers through top administrators to work collaboratively and creatively to ensure a more just and equitable future for all Ann Arbor Public School students. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you get the opportunity to vote.
Hello, my name is John Spisak, and I'm running for the Ann Arbor Public School Board of Education. I have a wide array of teaching experiences in both gen ed as well as special education that include teaching economic and political science in a high school setting and also being the teacher in a self-contained EI room. In addition, I have also worked throughout the AAPS district in K through 12. My academic background includes master's degrees from the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor in general education, the MAC program, and Purdue University in special education. In addition, I also hold a graduate degree in applied behavior analysis and currently work with students with autism and help them navigate their way through the educational system. As a behavior analyst, I create programming that helps mitigate behavior so that my kids can get the most out of their learning as possible. Currently, I'm working on my doctorate in educational leadership at Michigan State University, and I'm on the cutting edge of the most current research into what is needed to support schools and districts meet all the educative needs of not only their students, but also the families and any others that are involved in the process. I was also a committee member this past year and was responsible for content in the MTTC teacher preparation testing for special education through the Michigan Department of Education. In addition, I also sat on the Institutions of Higher Learning IHE committee for the Michigan Department of Education, which is committed to the strategic planning and implementation of curricula-based instruction as a means of shaping collegiate teacher preparatory programs. I was also the program director of the Concordia Special Education Program and taught teachers how to meet the needs of their students in the classroom as a teacher. Basically, I was involved in teaching teachers how to teach. I have a BA in finance from Eastern Michigan University and worked in the world of finance before starting my own business, before concentrating on raising my 3 children, while my wife continued her profession as a school social worker. So why am I running for the board? As a parent and professional educator administrator, I want to help Ann Arbor schools build an educational system that not only offers educational equity today, but also is well positioned to maintain that equity through future challenges and emergencies such as COVID-19 and/or the Great Recession. We must find creative ways to provide the tools of success to both students and teachers throughout good and/or bad times so that they can not only meet, but also exceed all expectations.
This concludes the presentation by candidates running for Ann Arbor Board of Education. This program is also available online. Visit a2gov.org/watchctn.
Remember to do your part and vote on or before November 3rd.